Hi Year 10, this is lesson 4 of your speaking and listening assessment preparation, and at the end of lesson 3 you should have emailed your teacher with your topic for your own speech and had that agreed by them, because in today's lesson you're going to take that topic and we're going to actually start planning the content of your speech. So if you haven't yet decided on your topic and agreed it with your teacher, that's what you need to go and do straight away, because you can't complete this lesson without having chosen your topic. So wherever you're doing your work, whether you're doing it in your English book or whether you're editing the Word document that goes along with this video that has all the YouTube links in and all the tables in that you can fill out if you like, you need to put today's date and the learning objective, which is how do I plan my speech so it is interesting for the audience. Okay, so your do now task today is to watch a few more speeches. Remember, this isn't something that we spend a lot of our time doing. Very few people spend a lot of time giving speeches on a regular basis. So it's really good for you to watch a whole bunch of speeches to get some different ideas about how people do their speeches, what sort of techniques they use to hook their audiences, or what sorts of things they're talking about. So we've got 3 YouTube videos here that we would like you to watch, and you're only going to watch the first minute of each video. And what you're going to do is, as you watch the first minute, you're going to think about what technique does this speech use to hook, to capture the interest, to engage the audience. So let's have a quick look at the first one together. As I said, all of these links are in the Word document that goes alongside this, this video from your teacher. Okay.
Have you ever been peer pressured? What about you? Or you?
Okay, so I'm going to play that again, and we're only 10 seconds into this child's speech. I want you to write down for me what speeches what techniques he's using that hook the audience in and make them interested in what he's saying. So let's go back to the beginning and see, what does he do?
Have you ever been peer pressured?
All right. So there are 2 things that he's doing there. What is he doing with his body that kind of interests the audience? And then what technique was he using? He was using a persuasive technique. What was it? So you're going to watch the first minute of this video and you're going to write down all of the things that he does to hook the audience. Then you're going to watch the first minute of this next video here and write down all of the things that he does to hook the audience. And then this video, which I'm going to show you really quickly, is a little bit different. And in this one, you are going to list all of the techniques that they tell you about. All right, so let me just skip past the video. All right, so look at the title of this video. It says examples of attention getters. So in this video, you're going to see little snippets of lots of different speeches, and then they put up on the screen for you what technique is being used to grab the attention, to hook the audience in. So let's have a little look just really briefly. All right. So you're going to watch the whole of this video. It's only 2.5 minutes. It's got a whole bunch of different examples of attention getters. You're going to write all of the ones that are used in this box here on your table. That way you've then, when you come to plan and think about your speech, you've got loads of different ways that you can make your speech interesting and engaging for your audience. Okay, so I want you to pause the video here. I want you to go ahead and watch those 3 videos. I want you to write down the techniques that are used to begin each of the speeches, and then all of the techniques that are used in the 3rd video before you move on to the next task. So you're going to pause the video now and then complete this task before you come back to the next task. Okay, so you should have completed the Do Now task, which was looking at ways of grabbing your listeners' attention, hooking them in. Today we're going to spend the next 30 minutes of the lesson time planning your content for your speech. So you need to think about what exactly it is you want to say, why it's important to you, what do your audience need to know, and then you can think about how you're going to hook them in and how you're going to make your speech really interesting. So I want you to imagine for a minute that your audience, who will be your classmates and your English teacher, I want you to imagine that they know absolutely nothing about the topic that you have chosen to speak on. Now, they may know something, but I want you to imagine that they know absolutely nothing about that topic. And I want you to think firstly then, what's all of the information and ideas that you're going to need to share with them so that they can understand your topic and therefore can understand when you are explaining those complex ideas that you need to explain in order to meet the mark scheme. And when you talk about the differing opinions and the controversy, that they can really grapple with that as well. So we're going to start off with all of the basic information. So you have this table in the Word document, and you can write your answers either onto that table and email that to your teacher, or you can write this background information into your English book. So this is, first thing that you're going to plan is the basics. So the 3 questions that you need to answer are the 3 questions on the left-hand side here of the table. Number 1, what background information about your topic is needed so everyone is clear what you're talking about? So remember, imagine they know nothing about your topic. What is the background information that they need? What are the basic facts that they need to know? And then finally, what is going to be the central controversy about your topic? The thing that you're going to have to debate, the thing where you're going to have to explain why there's different opinions, and how are you going to explain that? And you're going to think about all of these different things. I want you to try and come up with at least 5 to 8 things that you can write in this section. So if you can't say 5 to 8 things that is the background information for your topic, you've probably chosen a topic where you've not got enough to say. I've given you an example here, which I'm just going to explain really quickly. So imagine I was doing my speech on the idea that teachers should be paid more than footballers. Okay? So I have to imagine that all of my audience, all of you know nothing about that. So here are the basic information that I would need to explain. All right then. How much do teachers get paid? How much do footballers get paid? What are the exceptions to this kind of average? What are the outliers? Are there some teachers that make loads of money? Are there some footballers who are paid very little at all? And then I would probably want to compare teachers and footballers to the general population. So what does a footballer's pay? What does a teacher's pay compare to average wages? And then I would want to have as my background information, how do their jobs compare? Is it fair to compare teachers and footballers? And then the central controversy, which I would potentially want to bring out then, is why on earth should teachers be paid the same as footballers? Why not nurses or doctors or firemen or people that save lives, the army? Okay, and so that's the background information. Now, I don't have that information available to me, but I've listed it out so I could go and find it if I want to. So I want you to pause the video now, and I want you to think of at least 5 to 8 things that you can write in this box, which is the background information for your topic, basic facts needed so that the audience can understand it, and the central controversy. All right, once you've done that, you can move on to step 2, which is, why is this topic important? So you're kind of answering the question, why have you chosen to talk about this topic? It needs to be important to you as a person. You can't just kind of randomly pluck something out of air. You need to have your own personal interest. So again, why is this topic important? Why have you chosen to talk about it? So my example would be, for example, I'm a teacher. I might argue that teachers are undervalued. I might argue that footballers are overvalued, that they are paid too much by comparison to what they contribute to society overall. I might talk about the idea that entertainment shouldn't be considered more pay-worthy, more valuable in terms of salary than education or providing people with skills for life. And I might talk about the idea that certain jobs are very important in society and some jobs are less important. And, footballers, TV stars, which category do they fall into? Now, you can see already where I'm going to have to get into explaining complex ideas and debating with this topic, which is why these sorts of topics are really good to talk about. So here, you are going to need at least 3 reasons why this topic is important. And then you're going to need to explain why you chose to talk about it, why it's important to you personally. So you're going to have 4 things that you're writing in this box, 3 reasons about why your topic's important, and then 1 reason that's an explanation of why you've chosen to write it. Remember, you're going to be speaking for 5 minutes about this. Okay. Now your counter arguments. Now, probably if you know anything about either school or football, you've already thought of the counter arguments for my particular topic. And so I'm not going to read all of my examples for you. You've got them on the Word document. You've got them here. You can look at them. You need to think about your own topic. What are the counter arguments against your own opinion? What are all the different points of view from different groups of people or different individuals about your topic? Why might people disagree with you? And you have to then work out what their legitimate concerns are with your opinion, and then how you would argue that actually, even though they don't agree with you, you're still right. And so you're going to need to, again, to have between 5 and 8 things to say here. Not necessarily 5 counter arguments, but 5 things where you can go, this is what someone thinks, and this is my argument against it. All right, so again, pause the video. This is where you're going to fill in this section of the table. All right, then your final section, which is what are the facts and figures that you're going to need to research in order to support your arguments with evidence. And you want at least 5 facts. So you can see I've put some facts in there about footballer pay, about average pay. You're going to want to go and find at least 5 facts and figures or statistics that support what you are saying, that give further information about your topic. And that is part 1 of your planning done. So make sure you filled all this table in before you move on to the next task. Okay, the final task for today's lesson is hopefully a review for you of the rhetorical triangle, which is ethos, logos, and pathos. So we've got a short video that we want you to watch and 6 questions that summarize what these 3 things are and why they're important to speeches. And you can see here that on these questions, I've put the timing on the video where you can find the answer to all 6 of these questions. So go ahead, watch this video, write the answers down in your English book or on the Word document, and then that's the end of today's lesson. You just need to send your work